Hi, I'm Veronica Lee. This is your weekly transformational forecast for the week of April 11th, 2022. A lot is coming in energetically. We are experiencing a lot of, let's say, download or reconfiguration or consciousness awareness shifts in this left area of our being, specifically around the left eye, left part of the brain, and this area around the left side of the face. When I look at that, it may not necessarily be physical when I talk about left, but for me, the information is showing me our left intuitive feminine energy side. So not left brain as an analytical, but energetically left side of our receptors, our clairsenses, etc. When I've been looking at what's going on with that left area of the eye, years ago, I started, working with energy, right? In other words, it was not just a reading I was giving people, but I was finding that sometimes something needed to be shifted or moved a little bit so I can kind of like get to the answer of the question or to help move things along, sort of like when your back is out and you get an adjustment from your chiropractor, or you have a massage because there's a little bit of a knot in a certain area, and then by massaging it softens it. So with this energy work that I've been doing, it really is more or less me just feeling into what movements, what areas need to be, let's say, moved or shifted with my conscious awareness. What's interesting is that I'm not necessarily consciously aware of the specifics, like why am I doing something, what should I be doing, here's the movement that should go with it, but rather I just become an instrument and allow whatever I'm being directed to guide my hands, to guide the energy to do. Interestingly, I was seeing a lot of things going on with that left eye for people, and I'm thinking, okay, is this somebody's got an issue with their left eye? What's going on there? And then I recognized, maybe in the last couple of months or so, that this is essentially a portal and that it moves us into higher realms of consciousness. So when I was in there sort of adjusting something in that left eye, with energy, we're just feeling, oftentimes like just kind of pushing up along the top of it there energetically, and it would look something like this. I now recognize, we're moving into these higher realms of consciousness. We're developing our multi-dimensional selves even more fully. So energetically this week, the transformation that is happening is we are really upping this frequency into higher realms of consciousness. So what I'm asking is for you to start paying attention to things that are coming in. What are you hearing from the other side or from these subtle frequencies, right? It might be a word, it might be that as you listen and kind of just tune in quietly, that you're actually noticing the sounds that are outside. Maybe you hear, a certain bird, chirping, and maybe you are hearing the rustling of the leaves, or maybe it's something more modern, and it's a siren going by, and you're like, obviously you can notice sirens, but do you always notice when a siren's going by? So by starting to tune into, let's say, that clairaudience or that clairvoyance, this visionary energy, what pictures are coming to you, what images are you getting, or claircognizance, what is it that you just know and you don't know how you know what you know, right? Paying attention to those, because all of this is really asking to be developed. And then when I look at that left eye, it's specifically like trying to help us move beyond not just our six senses that are three-dimensional, that serve the 3D, but these metaphysical senses, but more so these multi-dimensional senses, right? So tuning into the dream time, tuning into the weirdness, like suddenly we have a sense of something, right? Whatever that is, it is important to tune in. Energies are supporting this. You are moving very quickly through this. And at the same time, it is, our sort of prerogative to say, wow, look at this. I've really stepped more fully into me and all of my gifts. And at the same time, to sort of recognize it's also our responsibility to do the practice, to pay attention, to lean in, to listen, to maybe even interpret if interpreting is appropriate. So again, a lot coming in, but it's sort of like the ball is being thrown into, our court, and it's up to us to do something with that, not just sit there and be passive and go, oh, all this is just happening in and around me, but rather, great, this has been happening in and around me, and what is my part in participating? So with that, have a great rest of your week, and we'll see you next week.